We had such an amazing week at Roland-Garros for the tennis here at the Olympics that we thought it was only right to debrief the biggest stories. I've enlisted Àlex Corretja to help me. We have to start with the atmosphere of the whole experience. Roland-Garros, we know it so well, but it was so different.
Yes, Laura, I mean, it was totally different. I have to say something. First, when I started there, when I walked there for the first day, I was like, looks very weird. But then, as the tournament went on, I loved it. I don't know about you, but the music, the atmosphere, it was just crazy.
I felt like it was different crowds, but almost more accessible in a way. Like, people were cheering so much harder than I've ever seen since basically 2012 at the Olympics when it was at Wimbledon.
Yeah, well, in my opinion, the fact that people, they buy the tickets like many time ago, you know, and then they never know if they could go to tennis, they could go to beach volley or whatever. So it's people that maybe they're not that expert in tennis. That's why they are so enthusiastic, because they go to a game, to a sport that probably they never saw it before live, you know. So if you have this kind of atmosphere there, especially for me, the music, it played something very important, because it creates this sort of like momentum during the changeovers, I guess.
Everyone was just there to have a great time. We
Yes.
had a great time.
Yes, we
How could
did.
you not have a great time watching Novak Djokovic make history? He's got the 24 Grand Slams. He'd been looking for the gold medal. Somehow played his best match of the year to win the title. I don't know how he was able to deliver that level of tennis after everything he's been through this year.
Well, I've got goosebumps when you say that. Honestly, I mean, it's inspiration from him. I think it comes from his heart, from his soul. I think he's been dreaming about that moment for such a long time, that he's been just giving everything he had, you know. And even if he's been winning everything in tennis, the only thing he was missing, it was gold. And for him, I mean, Serbia, you know, it's a country where they have so much passion for sport that anything but gold.
And he is a superstar at home, isn't he?
I mean, imagine, I heard sometimes when he's going there to Serbia, to Belgrade, you know, they even cut the highways for him, you know, because everybody's following him. So it's not that easy, but he's such a star, he's such a role model for them. So it was, you know, very, very nice and emotional to see him laying down there. Already in the semifinals, you remember, when he reached the finals,
he
was
collapsed
already
onto the floor, and that
Yes.
was a bigger reaction than we've ever seen at some of the Grand Slams that he's won. So we knew it was going to be big for him, and he was kind of playing it down throughout the week. He didn't want to talk so much about the title. He had the bronze medal from way back in the day, and this being probably realistically his last Olympics.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
there was so much pressure on him to deliver, and he had this one chance to make it happen, and you could just see what it meant to him at the end. The hand shaking, the sort of full body collapse that he did onto the court. I mean, it almost makes you tear up thinking about it, because how was he able to be so good under pressure? I don't understand.
Yeah, and the fact that what you said, you know, the way he was playing, it was very surprising in a way, because you always expect these kind of guys to raise their levels in the important moments. But when you saw him playing probably in finals at Wimbledon, where he struggled a little bit with the movement, especially of the forehand side, etc., and then you see him here, and all of a sudden you see like a different player. Why? In my opinion, also it is because here he had more time on the clay, you know, to move and to create.
But clay's not even his best surface.
Yeah, but I think now, surprisingly, I think it gives him this momentum that he can just see the ball coming, you know, and get ready, prepare. His backhand was working great, but in my opinion, what it made the difference, it was his forehand, actually. It's what it gives him the gold. You can be consistent with the backhand, but the forehand is going to give you the glory.
I feel like the tactics of it and, you know, the real nitty-gritty tennis stuff almost doesn't matter when you see a reaction like that. And one of the main things that stood out to me is what he said in his press conference afterwards, that it was his biggest sporting success of his career. He said it superseded everything he could possibly have imagined and more. And to be saying that after so many years, after so many titles, 98 career titles, and to have that, I mean, what's left for him to do? Nothing.
I feel nearly ashamed to say that we were tennis players.
I know, it's like a different sport.
We were also playing tennis, you know, you feel like we're amateurs.
I was watching that yesterday, like, this is not the same sport.
No, they play too fast, you know, they were playing like from backhand to forehand, the drop shots, whatever. Yeah, but what it meant to him, you know, it's because when they play for the country, everybody, you know, and you played and you won a silver in London too, that's totally different. You know, you don't play for your own. You play for everybody else, and you have like the feeling that you don't want anyone let down, And that's what I think you also have, like sort of hard emotions, feeling like, oh, I want to win this thing badly, because you don't want to go in the street and people tell you like, oh, you lose the bronze medal or the gold medal or the silver, you know. You want to be like, yeah, I am the best, you know. So I think it's also a factor to try to win.
I feel like if anyone says that Novak's not the best at this point, I mean, they don't know what they're talking about. But there's no way we're going to talk about retirement for him, because he's still at the very top of the game. But I kind of think, like, what is there left to do? There's nothing.
The way he played yesterday, I feel like maybe he can keep on going. At the same time, do you feel like I'm done? It's enough. I
almost think that, yeah. And just the reaction, I don't know how you then go and play, you know, Cincinnati or US Open. No, how could it ever mean as much to him as that?
Yeah, no, but he's been very precise with his calendar already. So he's been playing less and less. So I think now it's going to be even less, because he only needs to pick the important moments. So this is just a dream to see him winning, because I think he made history again. And somehow I felt like yesterday was destiny. I felt like, yeah, he created his own destiny.
We kind of thought it was going to be destiny for Carlos Alcaraz. Yeah. I feel like we need a drink to just go over everything that happened for poor Carlos yesterday. Not poor Carlos, because he's had such an unbelievable summer, 2 Grand Slam titles, but it felt like something was in the cards for him yesterday.
Yes.
And silver medal, not anything to be disappointed about, especially because he didn't do anything wrong on the court.
Agree.
And yet he wanted it so much. You made him cry.
No, it wasn't me. It was him. I mean, yeah, definitely. I understand your point. You know, somehow, Laura, I feel like, in a way, good move, by the way. It was great.
Yeah, it's hot.
Yeah. Well, no, come on.
A little refreshment, a little beverage.
You know, I'm going to take it very positive here with Carlitos, in a way that he's been winning everything he dreamt for, okay? And then when he was playing for #1, he achieved that. Then he played 4 major finals and he won them all. You play in the first time the Olympics final, and then you also win it?
It's not fair.
It's not that fair or not. It's more like maybe it's good for him to realize that at some point he needs to have a little bit of a step back, in a way, and feel the disappointment, the pain of losing a big final, you know?
Because it's the first one he's lost.
Exactly. So I think he's going to come back stronger, because he's going to realize how difficult it is to win this kind of matches. Because if not, it's like, oh, I want to win here, I win here. It's like if I want this one glass of water. No, this is easy compared with that. But he needs to realize. So I think the most important, it was that he gave his 100%. Of course, in the important moments, I felt like Novak was very precise and very, I don't know, like very secure about the way he wanted to play. And Carlos, maybe he had little doubts. If that happens to you against the best in the history, at least in numbers and in the books, you don't win.
You can walk off court knowing that you did absolutely everything, which he did yesterday. And sure, he wanted it so much that maybe at times he could have pulled back slightly and played a bit more high percentage, but you're clutching at straws, because he's had an incredible week. And you know, there was a bit of an injury issue at the start. We didn't know how he was going to fare playing both doubles and singles, and then to still walk away with a silver medal.
Yeah,
that's all you can ask, really.
What else?
And he's so young. He's going to have another chance in 4 years.
But Laura, he won Roland-Garros. Then he moves to grass, and he wins at Wimbledon. And then he goes back to clay. I mean, you know how difficult it is to go from clay to grass. So it's just playing us a little bit, especially the body, the bounce, you know. So the adjustments he made, everybody, because he was not the only one. I think it was very good from him. I don't know, what was easier for you, to go from clay to grass or to grass to clay?
Clay to grass. Get me off the clay ASAP.
Oh,
not
no.
the same for these guys. They don't have any troubles really going from surface, from court to court, and they seem to be just fine.
I think it's the movement, no?
It's the movement that makes it so much harder. Yeah. I could never slide in the first place. But one thing that I really loved this week for Carlos is that he got to play with his idol. He got to play with Rafa in the doubles, Nadalcaraz. They were superstars. We could barely even watch it ourselves because the amount of people who turned up to watch their matches was incredible. From all other sports, they showed up and were just wanting to see what could be, what we think is probably Rafa's last appearance at Roland-Garros.
How do we know that? Yeah, we might know. We might know. I believe sooner than later.
It's like you don't want to say it because you
no,
don't want it to be true.
Yes, I know. Yeah, it was unbelievable. It was very important moment for the Olympics itself. It was very important for Spain, of course, but I think all around the world, everybody was just watching these matches, you know, and it was great to see that they were playing doubles and everybody was focused in doubles too, you know, from the very beginning. So it put the doubles in the spot. I don't know what's going to happen with Rafa. I think, honestly, it was very good from him to try at Roland-Garros, try the Olympics, and now, I don't know, I hope he's back home, you know, on the beach in Mallorca, and just thinking, should I continue? What do I feel? You know, I don't know what you reckon about that, but it's a very difficult decision, I think.
It just takes so long to realize that maybe your body's not quite what it used to be, and you can't play at the level that you've dominated at for so many years. So I think that's quite hard to wrap your head around in a way, and he's achieved all there is to achieve in tennis, so it's not like, you know, there's anything left for him, but I think he wants to go out on his own terms, doesn't he?
Of course. No, he needs to. He has to go like this, and I think if you do it quick and then you regret it, it's bad, because it's impossible to go back, you know. So I think it's good he's realizing where he is, and then he will decide what he wants to do.
And Alcaraz was like a kid in a candy store on the court with him.
Yes.
He was jumping around. The first match he actually played kind of terrible because he wanted to do
he started
so much
like
for
so
Rafa.
bad he couldn't put one return in actually, and and at the net
And he was trying
like
to cross, but he's like he hadn't played doubles since 2022.
Exactly.
So he was like, what do I do up here? I'm not used to this.
He looked like an octopus in a parking lot, you know, like he's like, what am I doing here, you know? But I'm telling you what, after like 3-4 games, he was already feeling better, especially from the back of the court, and then he was just helping Rafa at the net as well. But the combination itself, it was so big. The explosion, the amount of energy they brought into the court, it was just great. Even at the warm-up, you know, and they do the toinkos, and they were like jumping, and I'm like, what are they doing? They
did the signature Rafa jump.
Yes.
We would have crammed for sure, but
Yeah.
I think that was so nice throughout the week. There was these incredible images of sort of symmetry in a way, with them both doing the classic Rafa jump at the net, with both of them doing the massive vamos, and in a way it's like a passing of the baton from one Spanish legend to another.
Yeah, we are so fortunate about that. I think tennis in general, but of course for the Spanish crowd, you know, like we thought like, oh, we're gonna lose Rafa, and we were like about to cry already, and all of a sudden comes Carlitos, like, don't worry, I'm gonna save you, you know. This is like, oh, thank you, Carlos, you know. And actually we call him Carlitos, and everybody gets like, Carlitos, it's a diminutive, but he wants to be called Carlitos or Charlie. When you call him Carlos, he feels like
You're
did
telling
something,
him off.
Yeah, or he did something wrong at home. That's why, you know, his mom called him like, Carlos, what have you done? And he feels like if it's Carlitos, Charlie is more smooth.
Okay, I'm going to keep that in mind. I feel like I don't know him well enough to be like,
you
Carlitos.
can call him Carlitos. ¿Qué pasa, amigo? And he will be like, hola, Laurita.
I want to be Laurita for sure.
Okay.
But one doubles pairing to another, we did see the end of Andy Murray.
Oh.
I never thought this day would come because it seems like he's retired maybe 4 times already, but this was it. And it was emotional. He cried on court. Dan Evans cried on court, which set me off because I wasn't expecting to see him so emotional.
Yes.
And I think that was a tough situation for Dan to be in, because it was a bit like Carlos, he wanted to play so well for his partner, and you don't want to be the one to retire someone, and he missed the last ball, and I think it all got to him. But for Andy, the day after, he just seemed really nice and reflective, and so proud of the career that he's had, and really what a career it has been.
I mean, imagine. I mean, Andy, I don't know if too many people know, but I worked with Andy for 3 years. At the beginning, I was sort of like a consultant on clay, and then I remember we had a phone call, and he said, come to London. We sat down, and he said, well, you can be my advisor, consultant through the whole year. So let's say, okay, let's do like 15 weeks. I was never his full-time coach. He wanted me to give like ideas and put it on his head, and then he decides whether he wants to use this in the tournament or in the practice. So we remember,
and
like,
he's a little bit particular.
Yeah, he is a genius. I mean, you need to be so precise with everything, practices, and like if he says like we didn't practice enough forehands, and I take my notebook and say like, yeah, we did this, because you know with Andy it's very tricky. But you know him also very well, you know. So, and I go back to you, but I remember asking him like, what is your dream, you know? And he was like, I want to win majors. I want to be number one. And yeah, he was telling me about Great Britain as well, to win a gold medal or to do well at the Olympics. And something that I was always remember, he said to me, I want to win Davis Cup. And Laura, I was thinking, Davis Cup with Great Britain? It's you and Jamie at the time. I wasn't sure. Then they helped with Kyle Edmund or whatever. But it was very impressive because he achieved everything. He told me one day when he was maybe 21, 22, and you had an amazing experience with him as well at the Olympics, and you know him well, and you talked to him the other day, so just tell us about it, please.
I really liked that he was proud of himself, because I think so often he plays it down, and so few people have achieved what he's achieved. You know, Grand Slams, Davis Cup, 2 gold medals, and to be number one in the era that he's been in with 3 of the greats, and the fact that they even consider it a big 4 is a testament to how he's played and how his longevity has been outstanding across the last 20 years, because this was his 5th Olympics. And actually it was really nice because he mentioned that Bjorn Borg sent him a text message saying congrats to one of the greats.
Oh.
And like, what a feeling to see that on your phone.
Bjorn Borg.
Yeah, Bjorn Borg texting you saying you're one of the greats, and just to have that validation in a way, I think meant a lot to him, and probably meant more to him than he let on in the moment. But yeah, you could tell when I asked him what was your favourite message, he went straight to that one.
Now I understand why he didn't reply to mine.
What did you text him?
Oh, I can't say.
Were you emotional? Yeah.
No, I was very short in my message, because if I go deep,
he is terrible on his phone.
You need to go through something that maybe it takes his attention. You need to talk about football or basketball or whatever. Because if you say, "Hey Andy, how are you?" you're toast.
Yeah.
No
he's
chance he will
shocking at
reply.
replying at times.
Yeah, no. We had like a quote that I was always telling him, like, life is great, but we are nothing. And he was like, what do you mean with that? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, sometimes I said to him once, I never shared this thing, but I said to him once, like, imagine I throw you in the middle of the ocean. You're nothing, you know? So it was, in a way, to make him think.
So weird pump-up message.
Yeah, he was telling me the same. And we are in Spanish. We have probably different sort of like, no, it was more to tell him, like, come on, just be happy, you know, and try to enjoy a little bit more. Because, you know, at some point, Andy was, you know, struggling being a little bit more happy on court, you know, and I was trying to be a little bit like more overall casual, to say, okay, I know it's tough, I know you need to practice, I know the feeling on the ball maybe might not be good, but at the end of the day, don't feel that you are great or you are not. No, it's just you're a human being. Just be yourself. And I'm gonna tell you what, I think Andy, he's been himself more in the last period of his career, even before. That's why now everybody loves him much more, because his character, his charisma, and his personality, it is unbelievable. Don't you agree with that? That
totally.
He's so
He's
relaxed.
so dry.
Yeah.
He's probably
so
had
funny.
the best social
So
media
sarcastic.
message of the Olympics, with never even liked tennis anyway. Probably only about an hour and a half after he came off court. And I was like, that is prime time Andy Murray.
It's
it
one of the
me
most, I don't know,
hilarious
visual tweets in the history of Twitter or X or whatever. You know, it was like millions of viewers watching that.
It just summed him up perfectly.
I
just
love
having
him.
a sense of humour in the hardest moments, and he would have been so emotional, but then just chirps out a joke.
Because he's always like, he's always talking like in the second sense, you know what I mean? And it's always like, and he's looking at you. And I remember him, like, I remember once he told me, like, what do you think about this? What do you reckon about that? And I'm like, if you don't know, you don't say it, okay?
Yeah.
Just don't create something like, oh, you want to show me that you know. If you don't know, and I was like, you know what, I really don't know what to say. And he said, stay quiet. So Andy's, I mean, it's like a little brother to me.
We love Andy. We hope he has an amazing retirement. He is going to have an amazing retirement. He's been at all the different sports already, so he's enjoying himself. Someone else who's enjoying themselves, so actually the whole team, really, the Italians.
Oh.
Irani, Paolini winning the doubles, Lorenzo Musetti winning bronze in the singles. What a summer they've had. I mean, Paolini anyway, because she made back-to-back Grand Slam finals, now a gold medal. Unbelievable. And at the start of the year, no one was talking about her as someone who could be a contender, but I don't even think that she's changed her game style that much. You know, when I see her over the last 18 months, it doesn't look that different, but it's pure confidence that she's bringing to the court. After the win in Dubai, then backing it up, being so consistent over different surfaces. I mean, she's just solid, isn't she?
She's solid.
You can rely on her.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, her forehand is big. I mean, her footwork too, her backhand, you know. Of course, serve, she will improve by the time. But also, it gives hope to these players that maybe they're not as tall as others, you know, and they hit the ball and everything. So she's just very smart, she moves very well, and she's not too tall, you know. So we could say that she uses her mind very well, like a chess game. So I think she's very consistent, and that's why she's winning so many matches. Also confidence by far, by the fact that she is putting like, I don't know, 7-8 balls each point, I think makes a huge difference for her.
Well, she really tests you, but the confidence plays a huge part.
Yes.
I mean, you just have to look at what the team energy has brought
Yes.
to Lorenzo as well. He's made semi-finals just about every week since Roland-Garros, where he had a disappointing loss, but then bounced back. You know, he comes through and he plays Umag before the Olympics, has a final on the Saturday there, plays first round Sunday in Paris. Every day since then, I mean, he must be shattered right now, but he's got a medal.
Absolutely, and to finish that, and with Sara Rani when they won the medal, I mean, both not too tall and winning, the big effort. Yeah, for Musetti, what's first? It's confidence first?
I think I said semi-finals of Roland-Garros. He made semis at Wimbledon, but he had that incredible match at 3 in the morning.
Yes.
I know that because you were there.
Yeah, I was there, yeah.
You were sleeping on a bench.
Yeah. I was sleeping in the commentary booth, actually. But Lorenzo, I mean, he's someone that he was showing also that he's very talented and he can play very good tennis. But of course, you know, maybe he didn't find the way he wanted to play all the time. And then he just found himself believing in him.
You thought he was going to win the semis?
Yes, I thought like he had a good chance to do it. I felt like he had the momentum, and I was like thinking like maybe Novak was struggling a little bit with the knee, and I wasn't sure. I felt like, oh, maybe he could do it. You know, he's ready. I think he was a little bit too tired, also physically and mentally. But then he did an unbelievable job to beat Auger-Aliassime in the semifinals to win the bronze. So I think it was a great effort. But again, my question is more like, what's first? They say, oh, you need to get confidence. How do you get confidence? It's by winning matches, but how do you win matches? You know, it's a little bit egg or chicken.
Chicken or the egg?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it is tough because you just have to almost fake it a little bit until you get those match wins in a row, and you get the sort of. It's almost like a bit of an ego in a way, where you feel like you walk onto the court and you can deliver. So, yeah, I feel like Lorenzo has it. The Italians have it in spades. Sinner wasn't even here, but they still did so well as a team. So again, it's just incredible for Italian tennis that they've got this much depth.
They've been working very well. I mean, from the base, you know, and that helps. Those satellites, those challengers, futures, whatever, ITF on the women's side, and then they've got tournaments. You know, you played in Rome. I mean, I remember playing at Foro Italico in Roma, and I mean, you're not playing an Italian, and it's packed, and it's a full house every day. That means that they love tennis.
They love
it.
So
the atmosphere they create there, it's crazy. So they don't need maybe the music from the Olympics.
They don't need it. They've got it anyway.
They got it
They can
inside.
start cheering, singing, whatever.
Yes.
They're going to bring the atmosphere.
Yes.
I feel like, not to put a downer on it, but Iga Swiatek, we saw happy tears, we saw sad tears throughout the week from just about everyone, but we really saw a lot of tears from Iga. It's so difficult because she was by far the favourite. I think everyone kind of wrote her into that gold medal position before the tournament even started. So that was always going to be tough. And I think one thing that's different about it is her dad was an Olympian, and she's obviously grown up bigging this up in her head and wanting it so badly, not just for her but for her family, because he didn't win a medal. And then you could see the result of that this week, where in the semis it just hit her all at once. She couldn't play her best tennis, and you could see the tension, you could see like the pressure she was putting on herself was just amazing. But in a way, to come out with a bronze medal, given everything that happened, was incredible, because she had to come back the next day, play the bronze medal match after the ultimate disappointment, where she was, every time I saw her for the next 2 hours after the match, she was crying.
Yeah. Well, I think for her it was very difficult to deal with the whole situation. Look how long it took to Novak to win the medal.
That's probably a nice thing for her, though.
Yeah, so I think it's similar in a way that, Iga, she wanted to bring the medal to her country, to Poland, like so badly. I feel like she knew that it was a great occasion here at Roland-Garros, on clay, where she's been dictating and dominating.
She's won like 21 straight matches at Roland-Garros.
So you feel like, okay, and in the men's side it was a little bit more open, but in the women's side we all feel like, who's going to win the what? Iga. Come on, it's a silly question. But Iga, I think she dealt very well to recover from the day that she lost. But of course, for her to win bronze is a great achievement, but it's not the greatness that she's looking for. And a little bit like Novak, as I said. So I think she's a major champion, and she's someone so dedicated to tennis and to the sport, so professional, that when you see her suffering...
It does feel like it's going to happen at some point for her.
It might happen, yeah, and she will have like at least 2
She's
more.
so young.
Yes.
She's got so many more
LA,
Olympics to come.
Brisbane, so yeah. For sure.
I really had a smile on my face looking at her on the podium, because to come back from the disappointment and still have that moment and still take something home, it's like, it's a massive achievement. Maybe it's not the colour that you wanted.
Something as a bronze medal.
Yeah, not many people have a bronze medal.
No, that's it. No, that we don't put it like in value. We feel like, oh, it's just a bronze.
Well, there's always that funny saying where the people who win bronze are happier than the people who are in silver.
That's the most stupid quote of the Olympics.
Really?
Of course.
I think you're just happy with a medal at that point.
No, I'm saying it's stupid to say that you lose the bronze. No, you lose the silver, but you win the bronze. They say.
Yeah. You don't feel that way?
No, I mean. You have a silver medal, right?
Yeah, but I was gutted in the moment.
No, but you have a silver medal.
Yeah.
Yes, I have a bronze medal in doubles.
Oh, that means I win.
Exactly. Yeah, but I won the match from semifinals, So I would replace my medal from yours.
Would you?
Of course, I prefer silver than bronze. I mean, who not? I mean, that's stupid, no?
I think we both want a gold.
I'm not calling you stupid, you. I'm saying that the quote, because, in my opinion, when you are in the semifinals and you reach the finals, you are winning the silver that day. So you're winning to reach the medal, okay? What I mean is, like, when people say like you lose you don't lose. Because you lose that day in order to win the gold, but you're winning the silver already the day before or whatever, So what's the point of saying, silver, you lose it, bronze, you win it? I give you my bronze medal if you want. You know what I mean?
I'll take it. I want more medals in my house.
No, to replace, I mean.
Okay, no. But someone who did win the gold, Zheng Quiwen.
Yeah.
What a week. Wow. She made finals of Aussie Open. Mm-hmm. Since then, it's been few and far between in terms of results. I wouldn't have said clay's her best surface. She plays a lot on clay because her coach is Spanish.
Yeah.
She's grown up playing on it. But to come back this week, and she won Palermo. It's a little bit similar to Musetti in a way. They were just on such a great run of matches, but she saved match point earlier on in the week. She came out in the semi-finals against Iga with such a strong game plan. She had the variety.
Yeah.
She had such a clear vision of how she wanted to play that match. And then again in the final, chopped Djokovic up a little bit in the final, but just played brave tennis and so strong mentally.
I think when she knows exactly the way she needs to play on clay. I think the variation on her forehand is very important, because she's given so much spin.
So much height.
Yes, and
because she's got such a big swing on that shot.
Not too many girls that play this way, I would say. I think her backhand is also very solid, and her first serve is very, very intense and very good. Maybe second serve she struggles a bit, because she does this with the elbow. So sometimes when she gets a little tight or maybe windy.
Is that a technical?
Well,
term
if
then?
you want to serve it like more like this instead of this. But anyway, she does it great, And there is something for me was very important for her. You know what? Not playing well during the grass court season, because she wasn't too tired.
Yeah.
She had time to get back again to clay, practice, get ready, then get the way in Palermo, and then after Palermo she built up her confidence again, and so she gets into the Olympics believing that I'm doing great, And she had Pera Riba, the Spanish coach, ex-player, that I'm sure that he was telling her, like, listen, not too many girls are going to be ready, because not everybody's been playing so many hours on clay for the last few days. So I think it's a great opportunity for her, underdog for sure. Maybe we didn't think about her to win the gold, but an amazing achievement, yeah.
And she said throughout the week, like, I'm exhausted. She kept saying, I'm just shattered physically, but something about it being the Olympics is pulling me through, and I want to deliver for my country. I have nothing left in the tank, but as long as I can get through and win something for my country, then I'm happy. And she was just thrilled when she won the gold. But I think if it's any other tournament, she wouldn't have won, you know, because you just can't find something.
The energy back, no? Yeah. Well, you saw the amount of Chinese flags. They were in the stadium, you know, and they were, you know, so enthusiastic to see her doing well, and she's so professional as well. So I think it was just nice, and the way she dealt with pressure, you know, I think it was very important for her also to play finals at the Aussie Open at the beginning of the year, because that gave her the experience, you know, to face someone like Zabalenka in the finals, and you know, and she went into the finals playing against Bekic, that she's a great hitter, you know, but I feel like
she had more variety
she
again.
knew that she could hurt her, and it's so good to have the feeling of going into a big final and feel like it depends on you. It didn't happen to me in Roland-Garros, like losing to Kuerten or Moya. I felt like, if they play well, if they play well, I'm gonna struggle. You know, that's sort of a horrendous feeling.
You could really tell that in the final, where she, in moments of panic, when a game went to juice or something like that, she was just able to slow things down, to create the height over the net with her forehand. She's got an unbelievable backhand. She moves so well, and she just didn't panic.
No.
Whereas down the other end of the court, Donna, she absolutely hits a clean ball, but
different game styles, right?
Totally different.
And in these occasions when you are like playing solid, it is something very good, because you feel like maybe the others, they're going to make more mistakes. I think also Bekic was a little tired mentally, physically, big efforts during the week, especially the one she beat Kostyuk, you know, coming back, match point, drama. So overall it was a great experience for all of them, I guess.
And just a quick one on Coco Gauff, because she was flag bearer. It was, it could have been a really big week for her.
Yes.
On clay, she's made final of Roland-Garros before. She's defending US Open champion, but I don't think we've seen her best tennis this year, not consistently anyway, where it just looks like the forehand side has taken a hit. Is there anything that she can do over the next few weeks so that she's ready to get to US Open and to defend her title there?
I think, you know, the secret is practicing. You need to practice, you need to be there, you need to just be focused on the things you want to work on. And I think for Coco, you know, it's going to be very important to go back to the States, practice on hard courts, you know, feel the heat, feel the bounce of the hard courts, you know, and also, I mean, she played an amazing summer last year. So I think she's going to deal well with the situation. And if she needs like sort of like a momentum to recover from that, she will come back maybe later on, you know. So it's not like if she doesn't do well at the US Open, she's going to be devastated. No, she's going to do well either way, you know, because everything is experience. She's so young, so I'm not concerned. I'm just thinking she can raise her level for sure.
And we want to finish, because it is the city of love. We need to finish with some love.
Oh.
The mixed doubles title, Mahac and Siniakova, they were together for a couple of years.
Yes.
Then they broke up. Aren't they back together? Did the gold bring them back together? We love a bit of gossip in our green
yes.
room.
You don't know the amount of things we talk about it on those little rooms where nobody knows. Yeah.
I want them to get married now. I mean, not to heap the
come
pressure
on, Laura, get married.
It's like the gold has brought them back together. They're in love.
Oh yeah.
I hope. Awkward if they're not together.
We should ask them. Yeah, maybe we should bring them in the next show. I mean, I'm going to tell you a secret. Well, it's not a secret, it was public. When we won bronze medal at Sydney, Costa and I, we kissed each other in the mouth, you know, and everybody's like, oh, and then we said, yeah, it was a bet before the tournament, you know, we said like if we win a medal, we're going to kiss each other, you know. I'm sure it was not a bet, it was more natural, it comes from the heart. Let's see if they want to go back together, if they're going to get married, they're going to have kids and just name them Paris and whatever, you know. Paris, they can call it if it's a lady.
Yeah, we just want an Olympic love story, but that's
Yes.
kind of summed up the entire draw on the men's, women's side, a little
Yes.
bit of mixed doubles in there too. We had an unbelievable week.
Yes.
Alex, it's been a pleasure as always.
Me too, Laura. You guided so well. You're such a great partner, and it's so easy to be next to you and working with you. Thank you for everything you did.
See you at US Open.
Oh, yes.